Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts, and today I have a flip through of this vintage altered book. I'm going to go through and talk about a boatload of the techniques that I used and try to focus some on collage layout to help answer some of the questions that I've been getting about where do my things go when I make a collage. We're going to start here with the cover. It's called The Autobiography of a Missionary Box. And it was a novel for young people that was really unintentionally hilarious because it was pretty sanctimonious. It's about this teeny tiny little bank that he's holding, and it's a missionary box. You would have put your pocket money in there so that eventually it could be given to the missionaries. And that's what you did if you were a good little girl. Because it is like a tiny, strong box, I thought maybe it would be fun to embellish the cover with a little circle of vintage skeleton keys. It doesn't actually lock the book, it's just a charm on the outside. Here on the frontispiece, there is an ex libris, and it says Berry Island, which is near where I am in Wales. Forward Movement Sunday School. So this was a present for good attendance or something. I rough tore a page of text asymmetrical, and I pulled it across both pages, that way making a border that connects the two pages so that you have a single narrative rather than two separate pages. And they do kind of go together because these birds are looking very intently at something over here, and this lady, who is a black and white engraving from 1885, is looking at them bemusedly, I would say. So these pieces, focal pieces, are not vintage. They are from coffee table books, and but I could not use them. They're just such striking pieces. So you can see here that I've put the lady for interest and layer and texture on a little fragment of a handwritten French legal document. And here I made the text go up and down because she's very vertical with her good posture, and the tulip is also very vertical. So I thought it would echo that vertical line on all the pages, and again, pull that together with the eye. Over here I have a little pocket that's made from the pages of the book being glued to other pages of the book. And if you would like to see a video on how I prepare an altered book and add pockets made from the pages of the book itself, I've got a video and I will link to it in the text below this so you can check that out later. Inside the pocket is a handwritten postcard postmarked 1877. It is mighty distressed on the back, but I just kind of leaned into that, and then I altered it by adding this little bird and a butterfly over here. I get asked a lot about how to deal with pieces that are beautiful on both sides. How do you decide which one to glue down? I usually don't. If it's really good on both sides, I usually will make a pocket of some kind so that you can take it out and enjoy both sides. These are also pockets, and they're made of vintage postcards. I do have a video as well on how to make these pockets using postcards or any other kind of cardboard that you have, again, to make little external pockets. And you know where it is, the link's down below. He is from a textbook from 1912 of birds and mammals, and I got that in Zurich, and even though it was pretty dry, the engravings were terrific. She is a belle from an old postcard, and from her costume, I'm going to say that she is from the 1880s. In this pocket is a tiny little calling card. It's very pretty, and it says Ever Faithful. And these calling cards were a fashionable thing in the 19 teens. You would have them printed with your name. This says Margie Christ. So, and then when you could just lift this little flap very carefully, and then you would exchange these with your friends. Over here in this pocket is a celluloid card. It's a New Year's card with a little bit of a tie there. It's in relief and it says thoughts. Inside is just a little message from Best Jack. And that's going to be about 1905-ish, because that's when the other cards with that lot were from. I want to point something out while we're here. This is a tea bag, and that's because it takes 10 days to 2 weeks to prepare a book just to start altering it with images. Just gluing it and preparing it. You often find, almost always find, that some of the bindings are going to hate you. And before you can start making them beautiful, you need to fix those bindings and reinforce them. In this case, I've used a tea bag, which is surprisingly resilient. It's almost like a very thin linen tape once you glue it in. And it looks super cool. Here, I had the same thing. This binding really, I had to fix it about 3 times. Finally, I used some mulberry paper, which is very, very thin paper in this neutral color. This flower is also a reproduction from a book called Mr. Marshall's Flower Book. And I love Mr. Marshall's Flower Book because his images just really pop. Over here is an original tintype. And look at that costume, will you? He's got a little pocket watch and a stand-up collar. These are from around the 1860s when photography was very, very, very young, and nobody knew that photographs were going to be printed on paper or eventually our phone. They just, at this time, did them on tin. So this is actually metal. And I made a little frame for it by tearing several layers of the pages in a sort of each one getting progressively smaller, so it's almost like a tunnel. And that makes a little frame there. Here is a collage layout. And I put the whole thing on a vintage map from an old tour book, an old Baedeker from 1903, and it is of Sorrento in Italy. And boy, I wish. She's from a postcard from cabinet photo from the 1920s. And I really like the way that, I don't know what the story is, you got to tell me, but I can tell you that she is placed on this old map, which has a lot of patina, and she's staring out of the page, and she's staring at something pretty wistfully. Then this owl, he's looking at whatever it is as well. He's over her shoulder, but his gaze is also going down and out of the page. So we can wonder about what's over here that's so compelling. I gave him a little branch to stand on, and that's just a little thing from a gardening magazine with some moss. Over here is an original page from the book, and I've put on it, it's called a quittance de prime, and it's basically a receipt for a canceled check or payment. It's handwritten and French. It is from 1906. I've used that as a border. Again, it goes across both pages, drawing the eye together. She's from a postcard of around the turn of the 20th century, 1900-ish. She's reading a book. I do look like pictures of women and girls reading books. And again, these are some more images from that 1912 textbook. And this blackbird is looking at this bat who's flying away, and everyone is oblivious of the girl with the book. So maybe they're part of a story she's reading. Or maybe that was just one crazy day. This page, let's see. These woodpeckers and other birds are from Goldsmith's Nature Guide from 1847. And I thought when I was ordering it, it would have the color plates that are in the 1860s version, but it didn't. So that was a little disappointing, but I decided to just lean into that and add color to the page instead and let the black and white just pop. Over here, this is more contemporary, probably the 1970s. It came from a butterfly book. And what I did was I just took a page, the right one, and cut out these butterflies and then made them into a pocket like this. Ooh, it's a little bit tight there. So, and then there's another pocket behind it. So we got two pockets on this page. This is a cigarette card. People used to collect them. This is another calling card. And this one is in French. And it says, in French, it says, "Do not forget me." And again, you can very carefully open it, and there's a little secret message down there. And then this is a vintage French holy card with a lovely angel. Finally, on the back page, this is a cabinet photo, and it is also about the turn of the 20th century, 1900-ish. I love it because I have a lot of cabinet photos, and this is the only one I have where someone's brought their pet. And she's holding her pet cat on a cushion here, and she's got a very adorable smile, like, make me leave it at home. Go on, try it. So I really think that's unusual and charming. As do these chickmunks, which are by Audubon, and it's a reproduction from the 1950s. And again, I've got a vertical border that tries to match the tint here of the cabinet photo of a handwritten page. If you want to see detailed still photos of this book, maybe get some inspiration, they are on my website, and I have linked to that in the text below here. You can also, if you want to go wild and nuts, you could buy it. Same place. If you like altered books, book arts, journal arts, please subscribe to my online newsletter. The link is there as well. It goes out monthly with free downloads of vintage images and art tutorials, giveaways, and the occasional pep talk. I would be grateful if you subscribed to my YouTube channel and if you left me some feedback or a question in the comments below. Okay, I post every Friday, and until then, happy making.